Good afternoon. Today is the 13th of April. We've been in lockdown for 17 days now, and yes, we've still got 17 to go, so we are bang in the middle of the lockdown period. What I'd like to share with you today is how we've been navigating through the COVID-19 pandemic. If we look at a statement made by our Minister of Finance, Mr. Tito Mboweni, on the 10th of January this year, he indicated that if we don't have big reforms, that it is game over for South Africa. Well, I don't think he considered the COVID virus at that stage in time whatsoever. But it is here now, and it is definitely bringing around big reforms for us. Our State President, Farrell, on the 9th of April announced the lockdown to be extended by a further 2 weeks. But he did make comment of a few things which I just jotted down here. He said that we all are wanting the economy to come back to life again. We want our children back at schools, and we want to be able to move around freely. He also said that, all of this, we need to prevent our economy from collapsing and saving our people from hunger. He indicated that government is looking at developing comprehensive packages of urgent economic measures to respond both to the immediate crisis but also severe economic challenges that we must confront in the months ahead of us. So I also read that as not just that what we put on the table now, but many others still to come. And he says that really the whole world, the greater global environment has been brought together humanity through this virus. And he requested that we need to remain strong, united, and be resolved. Very importantly, our president referred to God and said, ask God to bless South Africa and to protect her people. Johan Rupert, when interviewed, indicated that the economists are discussing the V curve and the U curve, and we can add the curve flattening. But he even said that's all meaningless, and we're not in a state of pause in our economy, but in a state of reset. So I'd like to add to that as well, and just say that the only way that we get out of this reset now is that we need to have a I9 operating system which is fast, speedy, and robust, so that we can move fast and get through the economic challenges which are lying ahead of us. We're also sitting with a potential projection of 50% unemployment. Could be higher if we think that the youth unemployment is already on 55%, and potentially escalating. So, that's really a big concern. Further on, if we just look at what Clem Santa said in an interview, and I think most of us would know Clem Santa, he's a futurist, globally respected opinion maker, and he refers to the hedgehogs, which are those who've got very big ideas and only one idea, and then versus the foxes. The foxes have many smaller ideas, but they don't let their minds get crowded by one big idea, so they would pursue all of these ideas. So what does he say? He first of all says that we need to start planning for the return of our business post-lockdown now. We need to start planning now, start getting our thoughts in place of how we're going to be operating once this lockdown has been lifted. He then also refers to that the foxes and companies specifically continue to review their strategy, their tactics, and have a radar system evaluating the impact that the virus is having on the markets and supply chains. He indicates that foxes are they take the risk out of play. We need to identify the risks, but let's try and mitigate those risks and get them out of play. Let the risks not cloud our thinking. Importantly, he refers to keep the health of our employees uppermost in our minds, and to minimize the changes that the virus is invading the workplace. So specifically, as we start thinking in businesses, how can we, in a structured manner, lift or influence to lift the lockdown and get certain of the industries back to work? How are we going to keep our workforces safe? And then he also says that, foxy politicians and foxy nations will lay aside their differences and attempt to present a united front. And as a business sector, we need to have a united front, but we need to work with our local, provincial, as well as our national government as a united front to get through these times. Professor Nick Benadel, well-known academic leader involved at the Gibbs Business School, indicated a few other points. He says that there's a need to be in touch with what is happening. And our thinking needs to be innovative. Understand your environment, be in touch with what is happening right around you. He further refers to our intelligence systems, but he puts an emphasis on the informal. So understand what is on the ground, what is happening, and be aware of those and utilize those in our plans going forward. Communication is crucial. And what is very important about communication, do not hide the truth. Tell your employees, your bank, your creditors, your debtors, be open and just be truthful in your communication as you go along. Identify opportunities to do things differently. Accept the reality of the situation. COVID-19 is a reality. It's not a fag. It's not just a phase we're going through. It is here now, and we need to accept that and work with that and around that. And then importantly, how do you motivate your people? And most importantly, how do you care for your people? So during this time, and we know that many organizations have indicated that they might be closing, others have indicated that they're going to be retrenching people. But in that process, should you be doing that, just be fair and also be caring for your people as you go along. What suggestions have we put forward during the past 17 days? We asked that you please engage your staff. We asked that you engage your accountant, your HR practitioners, your legal professionals. Them give you the advice in terms of what you need to do, what are the correct processes going forward. So use them as your soundboard. You need to engage with your landlord. As we said previously, be honest with them and try and negotiate a rent reprieve or a new agreement with the landlords. Importantly, speak to your municipalities or engage your chamber or engage the professional bodies in which you belong to as a unified front to engage the different municipalities to ask for a rates reprieve and services level reprieve. We know that in the Garden Route, the Mossel Bay municipality has announced some measures of reprieve, and we're still waiting upon the other municipalities to react. Please apply for funding, relief funding at the various schemes. We know that many people are concerned about some of the conditions for the approval of those relief schemes, but irrespective of those, kindly do yourself a favor and apply. And I know that Ingrid from the George Chamber perspective has sent out a mail and said, if you have applied, let us know who you applied to and what the status is. So once again, that we can, from our side, also try and follow up and see how we can assist in the process. Reimagine your business future. Understand conditions are not going to be the same. The way that we do business are not going to be the same. So reimagine that business focus. And remember, the Fox has got a whole lot of different small ideas. So focus on those. Follow the correct labor relations and basic conditions of employment act, the policies and procedures in your dealing with your staff. Very, very important that you do that. Be in contact with your industry-related professional associations. We are working with, specifically in the tourism environment, we are working with various associations, and so that we can come up with a stronger lobbied effort to bring about change in that industry. Be in contact with your business chamber, business organizations, speak to us. There are, we are represented as chambers across the country, across the Garden Route, and there are also other not known as chambers, but business organizations. And from our side, we are attempting to work together very closely at the moment in time. And then engage your trade union. This might be strange, but maybe for the first time that as a business owner where you've got a recognition agreement with your trade union, engage them, because we're all actually fighting for the same thing at the moment. That's to keep our business afloat and thereby keeping the employment of many employees. So it could be an opportunity to start forging relations at a different level with your unions. So what have we been working at? So we're involved the Garden Route district municipalities on the JOC, on the economic cluster. We're there together with most, if not all, other chambers of the Garden Route and business organization, and we're all working together to resolve and to put forward proposals and to assist in fighting the fight to have the economy turned around. We're engaging with SECI, Business South Africa, Soccer Liga, and I must say Soccer Liga is doing a lot of good work at national engagement, so we're involved there with them. On the tourism side, OTA Skull, the George Municipality Tourism Office, Association of South African Chambers. We are one of the founding members of that association, and they're represented with other big chambers such as Cape Town, Durban, Port Elizabeth, East London, and Pietermaritzburg, Middelburg. So those are the big, the biggest chambers are all associated with that. And then, of course, with Westgrove, we're working very closely with Westgrove and also through the Garden Route economic cluster that we're engaging with Westgrove. And our whole focus there is to ensure that at the end of the day that we get satisfactory outcomes and solutions. And where they're not satisfactory, and say, but what is the alternatives? Then, of course, there's communication with yourselves as affiliates and many others. And how we've done that, we've actually done that through social media, through our Facebook page, also through our website. A lot of emails have come from the office, from Ingrid and Marianne, podcasts addressing general information such as we're doing right now. And then also working with myself, working with Dr. Andy Bro on Leadership Insights. We're doing podcasts on a few topics, and we'll give you the links at the end of this podcast as well. Then, of course, facilitating Zoom, Skype, and other forms of meetings with affiliates and others. So what the message is, we are open for business and we are available for you to engage with us. Very important is let's build trust. So here's a model of Charles Green, where he just says, trust equals credibility, and credibility is they know their stuff. So whoever we're engaging with, we're building the trust because we know that they'll give us the right information at the right time, and that they are credible. Always deliver. We need to ensure that we need to deliver on what we promise, and if what we put forward or what you request we can't deliver on it, we need to communicate that and be open in our communication. And intimacy, I feel safe with them, that we need to have a safety net for the business, and that is us all working together in this trust relationship. And then, of course, self-orientation. Are they focused on my interest or theirs? So this is not about theirs or mine, this is about ours. So let's focus on building the trust. I think with a greater trust, and this trust goes with our local authorities, goes with our provincial authorities, but also goes with our national authorities. We need to move into that realm of true trust with each other. Then on the final slide, just to share some information with you, on all of your websites, you should have the top slide there, which is the COVID-19 Coronavirus South African Resource Portal. At that portal, you'll find all relevant information. There is no fake news on there. That's the official portal. So kindly, if you don't have yet, put that on your website, and that was a request from government. The one at the bottom is a site from Westgrow Support Business, and this is Support Finder. So if you go onto that site, you go through a series of 6 clicks, answer the questions, and it will take you to specifically the relief fund or the relief mechanism in which you need to apply for. So very, very good site. So have that site on your website as well and share it with many people. Then just some of the podcasts that we have done. Our survey results, you can see on that YouTube clip there. That's one we've done at Leadership Insight with Andy. And on finances, also with Andy, and we had Michael there as well. And then labor relations, we had Dr. Lucas de Priya sharing his insights on labor relations. So that's it for today. I do wish you all the best and God bless as we continue this journey further.